This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and believe it or not, this is one of the key elements that you need to understand in order for your YouTube or Twitch channel to grow. My name's Tristan from Underdog Factory. I help gamers grow and monetize their content online, so that way they can live a life they love. Your task for this video is to let me know in the comments which level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs best describes why you're a gamer, and to go and join my Discord. So, a little background on Maslow. He was an American psychologist that focused on positive mental health. He really wanted to understand what actually made people happy, what people needed to do in order to become happy. And so one of the things that he did is he created the hierarchy of needs. It's basically a list of things that people need in order to be happy. And we can actually use this list in order to show how you, as a content creator, can help your viewers become happier. And happy viewers watch more videos, they engage more, and they will more actively support you. So we want as many of them as possible. Now, let's go ahead and take this apart. The first layer is made up of physiological needs. We're talking food, air, water, warmth, so we're not freezing to death. The basic things that we need in order to not die. Now, if we're looking at this through a gaming lens, we'd be talking about escapism. That's where things are bad in your real life, and so you escape from that real life or from the situations through video games, books, or whatever. You could even think of it as like a coping mechanism. So viewers with escapist needs really just want to forget what's going on in the real life for a little while. Now, each game and each community is going to be different, so I'm not going to give you some kind of a blanket recommendation like, try to make your videos longer, try to be more wholesome. Instead, what I want you to do is I want you to think about the person that you're trying to reach with your videos and ask them, ask your imaginary person, what do you do when you're stressed out? Or what do you do when you're having problems at work or school with family or friends or whatever? And what kind of videos help you the most during those times? And as you start coming up with those answers, the next thing to do is you're going to want to start adapting your own content, your own videos, so that way you better help meet those needs, right? So if somebody says, I just need a laugh, I just need something that's going to make me happy and forget about the sad things in my life. Well, that means that you would want to make content that's going to be a little bit funnier, something that's going to cause that person to laugh, in order to do those things that they're wanting to do. If that person says, look, I just need to blow off some steam for a little while, there's a lot of ways you can blow off steam, but it's important to understand who that viewer is, because the way that a 13-year-old and the way that a 30-year-old blow off steam are very different. So just one of those things to keep in mind, and you're going to see that as kind of a repeating thing here as we go through the remaining levels. The next level of this hierarchy are safety needs. Now, normally this would be things like shelter or consistent food or rest and that kind of stuff. Now, for us, what we're talking about here in gaming, probably the easiest way to look at it would just simply be fighting boredom. So the question is, if you know that your viewer is bored, how can you make your videos or live streams more engaging? Again, maybe you need to tell more jokes. Maybe you need to show off more cool weapons or some awesome strategies. Maybe put a picture of a puppy on the screen. Again, the right answer is going to depend on you and what you're capable of and who your audience is. Again, what's funny to a 13-year-old, probably not going to be as funny to a 30-year-old. But again, ask your viewer, why are you bored? What kind of things would entertain you right now? What can I do as a content creator or as a YouTuber, as a Twitch streamer to help you not be bored? Okay, so that's level 2. Level 3 is community, and this is where things start getting a little bit more interesting. This could mean your friends, it could mean your family, it could mean your school, it could mean a romantic partner, it could even just mean other members of a specific fandom, right? Trekkies or Star Wars people, It's the need that we have to feel like we're part of something, that we're part of a community, and that we're surrounded by people, we're with other people that accept us or that are kind of similar to us in a certain way. We're talking specifically about people who really, really like the Pokemon games, people who really like Minecraft, people who really like Call of Duty, right? These are these different communities that we can join. So again, we have the question, how can you make your viewer feel like or become part of your community? What can you do to increase that engagement between you and the viewer, or with that viewer and other members of that community? So some easy answers would be things like replying to as many comments as you can, or to set up like a Discord server to do community events where you play with your viewers, or more live streams where you can interact with your viewers and where they can interact with each other in chat, all that kind of stuff. You can even use merch like t-shirts and that kind of thing to help build your community, because then you're giving your viewers an opportunity to identify themselves with their clothing and say, I am part of this group, or I am a fan of this thing. I'm part of this community as I sit here in my Technoblade t-shirt. But be creative with this. There are a lot of options. There's a lot of different ways that you can build this community and to engage with your viewers. I'd also highly recommend that you take a look at a book called Primal Branding. It will teach you exactly how to do this, and it's really, really good. And it also gives some really interesting examples of how other businesses build their brands in their communities. The next level up is called esteem, and generally refers to not just being part of a community, but being a respected member of that community. Now, there's some obvious progression here from the previous level, but the community that we're talking about here doesn't necessarily have to be your community. These could be people who are pushing for the leaderboards, right? They're speedrunners or achievement hunters. They're people who want to stand out within the game or within the in-game community. I used to be very, very, very into World of Warcraft PvP. I used to fight for Gladiator. I loved having the Gladiator title next to my little character. I'm like, yeah, I did this. Be afraid of me. That's the esteem that I was looking for. Or fear. I guess you could say I was also looking to be feared. Now, how do you apply this? How do you make your videos better help your viewers to become respected or become esteemed members of a community? Do you do that with guides, tutorials, community support? Again, you need to think about your game, think about your audience, and then try and find the best application for this. And finally, we have the top level, self-actualization. This is the level where we try to reach our fullest potentials within the game and where we try to express ourselves creatively. So my favorite examples of this would be like the insane Minecraft builds, or if you guys play Path of Exile, some of the insane builds that people make over there. You could even look at challenges, so things like surviving 100 days in whatever game. That's a very popular trend that's going on around. Or even something as simple as like the extreme Pokemon hacks, like Pokemon Radical Red, where it's still the same game, it's still Pokemon, but they cranked up the difficulty really high. And so now if you're able to beat that game, that's really pushing yourself. That's really saying, I'm not just good at this game, I'm really good at this game. I have reached my max potential or my fullest potential as far as a Pokemon trainer can go, right? I was able to beat Pokemon Radical Red. And what's interesting about these videos or this kind of content is that they're not just fun to watch, right? We're not just talking about the boredom levels. We're not just talking about the community levels or even the esteem levels, but these videos are also inspiring, right? So it's cool to go and see other people doing these things, but then we sit back and we think, I wonder if I could do that. I wonder if I had that same potential. I wonder if I had that same creativity. And so your viewers then going to go and try that thing for themselves, and they're going to try and reach their own maximum potential. So what can you do to help your viewer reach their potential? What kind of challenges can you offer them? What kind of puzzles can you give them? What kind of support can you give them in order to help them to actually reach that goal? So again, think about the games that you're playing. Think about the people that are watching your videos. The way that you challenge a 13-year-old is not the same way you're going to challenge a 30-year-old. Again, remember that. Now, as we're going through this process and as we're asking these questions, we really have two goals in mind. We have two things that we want to do. There's two things that we want to learn. First is we want to understand why our viewer is logging into YouTube and what is it they hope to find. And the second thing that we want to know is how we can take our own videos and how we can better adapt it to fit whatever it is that viewer is looking for. If we can help them find what they're looking for, they're going to watch a lot more of the video. They're going to watch a lot more videos. And again, they're going to become much more engaged. They're going to become much happier with your content. And you're going to find that that's a very effective way of building a community around you, around your channel. Now, this information helps us form something that's called a viewer avatar, which goes even deeper into who the viewer is and what it is that they need or want from us. Plus, having a clear idea of who your avatar is will help you to get better brand deals and sponsorships, because then you can go and you can show the brand exactly who it is that you're trying to reach and what problems you're trying to help them to solve. And that means you get paid more, which is really great. So I have two videos I'd recommend you guys go and watch now. One of them talks about viewer avatars, and then the other one talks about channel branding. Both of these will help you to better understand who your viewer is and adapt that content so that way you can better fit those needs. And you'll find links to those in the comments and in the descriptions. Don't forget your homework. If you don't remember what that is, rewind back to the beginning, and it's time to get to work.